Hello students, in this video I am going to explain about the poultry diseases. Generally the fowls prone to the virus, bacteria, fungi and protozoan diseases. So to protect them the management should take different types of precautionary methods. At first we will see the viral diseases here. Mark's disease. This disease was identified in 1907 for the first time. In this disease, the fowls are prone to all the visceral organs. All the visceral organs are affected in this disease and the peripheral nervous system too. This disease is caused by Herpes virus and it affects all the ages of fowls, especially 2 to 4 months age of chicks are prone to this disease. This disease is spread through the excreta of deceased birds and nasal and oral secretions of the deceased birds. These three things are the major causes to spread the disease. And the symptoms, if we see the symptoms, the nerves are more affected. Enlargement of nerves can be seen in this disease and white tumors on visceral organs can be seen. Tumors on liver, gonads, spleen, heart can be seen. These are the symptoms which we can see in the Mark's disease. Then how to treat the diseased fowls? By giving the proper diet, antibiotics and providing the good sanitation, we can treat the diseased prone fowls, and it can be prevented by giving the vaccine. In this way, the fowls are protected from the Mark's disease. The second disease is Rannicate disease. In this disease, we can see the symptoms like this. At first, the fowls may not be active. They show dullness and a twisted neck can be seen and dark comb can be seen and diarrhea also can be seen in this disease. And this disease is caused by paramyxovirus. All the systems are affected in this disease generally. Then it is spreaded through the excreta of deceased fowl and air, water, litter, contaminated litter. Then the symptoms are very severe in this disease and sometimes the symptoms may not be appear. Without appear only the fowls can suffer from this disease. Means they may be in the asymptomatic condition. Especially in this disease, the nervous system is affected and the body temperature is also reduced sometimes. Diarrhea, respiratory disturbances also seen. Then how it is treated? The disease prone fowls are separated from the healthy fowls and good sanitation should be maintained in the poultry farm. Then Lassota vaccine should be given in the age of 5 to 6 days of these chicks and it is administered through the nose, and the vaccination only protects this for chicks from this disease. That is why at the age of 5 to 6 days of this chick, the Lasota vaccine is given to them, and the contaminated fowls are separated from the shed and they are disinfected. And then avian flu. It is caused by H5N1 avian flu virus. It is a pandemic disease too, and it is very harmful, transmits from birds to human also. And it is spreaded. It is called communicable disease, and it is spreaded through the saliva or fecal materials of the infected fowls. The birds and human get infected if they contact with the saliva even. Symptoms, if we see the symptoms, the birds do not take food properly and look lazy, and respiration become difficult. Respiratory problems are arising in this disease. Then it is controlled by giving the vaccine, and the diseased birds are separated from the healthy birds, and the diseased birds are buried or burnt. This is about avian flu disease. This is Gamboro disease. In this disease, the fowl looks like this with these symptoms. We can identify that that fowl is prone to the disease. In this disease, it is a contagious disease caused by virus only, and it affects 2 to 6 weeks old of chicks. Mortality rate is also more in this disease. It is spread through the excreta of the diseased fowl and the saliva too. Symptoms, if we see the symptoms, diarrhea, reddening of cloaca can be seen. The disease spreads for 1 week and gradually reduces. If we see the treatment in vaccination should be done in 18 to 21 days of old chicks. In the period of 18 to 20 days, old chicks can be vaccinated, and the shed always cleaned with a formalin solution to avoid the spreading of the disease. In this way, this disease is controlled. Avian pox. It is also called by virus only. It is also called as avian diphtheria, and the common name for this is also chicken pox. And this is not only seen in fowl but can be seen in many birds. It is spreaded through the injuries which is caused by the different causes, and mosquitoes also here acting as vectors in the spreading of this disease. Disease is seen on the head of the fowl where the feathers are absent, especially at combs, wattles, eyelets, at the base of beak also. White blisters formed at first, they turn to yellow, finally they turn to black blisters. We can say the black blisters and the head portion of this fowl in this disease. That is only the best symbol to identify that the bird is prone to the avian pox. Usually it is cured in 3 to 4 weeks. In the second week, generally the birds are vaccinated, the pox vaccine is available in the 9th week, the 2nd week and the 9th week. The vaccine should be administered. Okay, this is about viral disease. Now we'll see the bacterial diseases. In the bacterial diseases, we go with the coryza. Coryza is caused by the bacteria called Haemophilus gallinarum. This disease is spread through the water, contaminated air, and contaminated fowls also act as the vectors to spread the disease. It affects all the ages of birds, and if you see the symptoms, swollen face can be seen, nostril and eye secretions can be seen, and the yield of eggs reduced to 40%, and acute respiratory problems can be seen in this disease. And this disease is cured by antibiotics and providing good feed with the vitamins. Spread the disease is controlled by avoiding the diseased fowls from the healthy group of fowls, means poultry farm. The sheds should be kept clean, and always it should be sanitized with the chemical. The next one is chronic respiratory disease. Okay, in this picture we are seeing fall cholera. I'll say that this is caused by the bacteria Pasteurella avicida, and it is transmits from infected fowl to the healthy fowl, and transmits through feed, water, instruments, and insects too. If we see the symptoms, we can see we may not see particular symptom in this disease. The mortality is high, and we can observe that the fowls may not eat properly, and we can observe when the major thing is oral and nasal secretions give foul smell. The respiratory tract affects more in this disease, and it is filled with the mucus, and we can observe difficulty in the respiration too. And sometimes some fowls may show the symptoms like diarrhea. In diarrhea we can see the excreta in green color. That is the basic symptom to identify fall cholera disease in the fowls, and it is treated by using the antibiotics. And the diseased definitely the diseased fowls should be separated from the healthy fowls, and cholera vaccination should be given at the age of 18 weeks, and the died fowls should be burnt. By taking these precautions, the fowls can be protected from the fall cholera. Fall typhoid. It is caused by bacteria Salmonella gallinarum, and it is also called salmonellosis. This was identified in 1885 at first, and the disease spreads through the water, contaminated fecal material, and by vector birds also present, and it is also spreads through the cloths, hands of the workers who are working in the particular poultry, and instruments, through the instruments also, which are used in the poultry farm. Sudden death can be seen in this disease, and they stop if we sometimes they stop feeding, they are more thirsty in this, they feel more thirsty in this disease, and yellow color diarrhea can be seen in this disease. That is the basic symptom to identify fowl typhoid. Severe fever can be seen. Difficulty, sometimes difficulty in respiration can be seen. Then it is treated by giving the nutritional food and medicines like nitrofurantoin, furazolidine per 1 ton of a feed is used, and the vaccination should be done at the age of 9 to 10 weeks. The dead bodies definitely burnt or buried to avoid the spreading of the disease. And there are 2 other diseases also there which are caused by the bacteria. Chronic respiratory disease. It is caused by bacterium Mycoplasma galli-specticum. Usually it is seen in the improper maintenance of the sheds and transmitted through the infected fowl to the healthy fowl, and it is mainly transmitted through the feed, contaminated feed, water, air. If we see the symptoms, we can see the snoring nature, snoring character in the respiration. Sneeze, cough can be seen. Eye disorders also can be seen. And by these symptoms, it reduces giving the egg yield. By that we can see the reduction in the egg yield. It is also one drawback to the management. And that is another disease which is caused by the bacteria only, Pollorum disease, and this is also called Bacillus white diarrhea. It is caused by bacteria Salmonella pollorium. If we see the symptoms, diarrhea can be seen in this disease, and white color diarrhea can be seen. They do not take food properly, and they do not give the egg yield, and the mortality is also more in this disease. Okay, now I'll say the treatment and the prevention. Isolate the infected fowls by the blood test. Means here the blood test should be carried out for the fowls, and the infected fowls are isolated from the healthy ones. By that, spreading can be prevented, and the prone fowls are given antibiotics to control the disease. And before getting from the hatcheries, the chicks should be examined properly, and should be selected good broods, and good breeds, and always the sheds should be kept clean to avoid the contamination and the spreading also. In this way, the Pollorum disease is controlled. Now I'll see the Aspergillosis, and this is caused by the fungus. It is a fungal disease, and it is also called, this disease have another name, that is brooder pneumonia, and it is caused by Aspergillus fumigatus, and it is transmitted through the fungal spores, contaminated feed, litter, grass grains, etc. Especially the moisture, the moistureness in the environment very cooperates to the fungus to spread the disease. And when they prone to the disease, they do not eat properly, and they do not take water properly, and they become weak. Sometimes diarrhea can be seen, and white semicircular spots are seen on the eyelids. This is the special character. And they are treated with nystine, amphotericin drugs by injecting into the abdomen. Copper sulfate is mixed with the water and it is used for the treatment. Definitely the litter should be cleaned. If needed, it should be changed. The waterers and the feederers should be cleaned with 0%, 0.5 percentage of copper sulfate solution to avoid the contamination. And finally, I can say that it is just like pneumonia, brooder pneumonia. The name for this disease is given is brooder pneumonia. In this disease, they suffer in breathing also. You can see the chick which is suffering for breathing. This is about Aspergillosis. The next one is Aflotoxicosis, and it is also a fungal disease caused by Aspergillus flavus. The toxins which are released by the fungus are different types in here B1, B2, G1, G2, like that. Among them, B1 is very harmful. These toxins reach the liver of the chicks and obstruct the functions of liver, and deficiency of vitamins can be seen. Eyelid is reduced and fowl become weak. Due to the effect of toxins, kidneys may be sometimes affected. And this disease is treated by giving healthy food, and litter should be changed frequently if needed. There is no particular medicine for treatment of this aflatotoxicosis, but the prevention is only the method to control this disease. The next one is thrash. Thrash is also known as moniliasis, and it is caused by Candida albicans fungus. It is a fungus disease. Lesions are generally formed on the body, and a foul smell can be seen from the chicks, and the esophagus become rigid and thick. And it is controlled by giving the hygiene food, water, and maintaining the good ventilation, aeration, sanitation in the sheds. This is about thrash disease. Coccidiosis. This is also caused by the fungus, and it is caused by the protozoan, and it affects the intestinal epithelium of the chicks. The spread of this disease is with mostly fecal material. It is transmitted through the contaminated fowl to the healthy ones, and the symptoms can be seen, especially the intestine is affected in this disease. The treatment, if you see the treatment, definitely in this disease more vitamins are provided in this disease, and ambrosol, cardinol, salmate, bifuran are mixed with the water. These are the drugs mixed with water and given to them. To prevent this disease, the sheds should be kept very clean, and the proper air ventilation should be provided to the chicks, and make them to feel free from the stress. Generally the medicines in this disease are mixed with the feed to give them. and by taking all these precautions, this disease can be treated. Like that, the fowls are suffering with 4 types of microorganisms, and by taking proper precautions, the fowls can be protected from these diseases.